Alright. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We're back with a Mechabellum cast, and we are going to be looking at a series of two pro players playing in the Mag 1 tournament. This is a very important qualification match between two of the best players in the world. Apooche up the top in the blue, Steelsane in the red. And it looks like, I think Apooche picks this speed spec here for Saber Fang. Steelsane is going to go crawler ball marksman spec start. And this is going to be really interesting. So Steelsane in the red is going to be up here in the top right. Apooche in the bottom left. Now, Apooche is from America, I think. I don't know why I'm thinking New York, but I can't quite remember where. Somewhere in America. Steelsane, on the other hand, is somewhere from the Russian language world. So Apooche is a hero of the 501, the English server, English-speaking server, and is actually from California. Steelsane, on the other hand, not sure exactly where from that Russian language server. And apparently Steelsane is the king of standard, apparently like second best in the world at playing like standard defensive, but recently in the last season or so has developed all this deep knowledge of different aggro lines, how to play different styles of aggro, and it's really developed his play to another level. So I'm curious to see how Steelsane goes, and it's going to be an asymmetric start. So for game one, it's a best of 3, by the way. So yes, there's randomness in this game, but hopefully it balances out over these longer best of 3 and best of 5 series. And I'm not sure what the prize money is for this tournament, but I know Mag 1, who organize these tournaments, they're a community that do it, run by Yes Win Big. I know they've given out over $10,000 in prize pool for Mechabellum, and there's a lot of high-level players playing tournaments there all the time. So the winner of this match gets to go into the top 8 to face off with Sacco, by the way. So it's going to be really nice to see who can win. Obviously, asymmetric start like this, balls always win the race to the tower. The question is when the second tower goes down, and I think it's going to be at a pretty opportune time. And look at that, already tracking onto the Saber. Can he get the Saber? No, the Saber does get the shot off. If the Sabers could clear these balls, perfect time. This actually works out so well for Apooche, because you can see that second tower is not going to go down. Sometimes getting the first tower kill, I used to think balls are always good in this position. They should always beat Sabers because you get the first tower snipe. Then I realized, as I've experienced this situation a lot, as someone who does love playing my my crawler ball starts, it's not actually that great. The Sabers could absolutely demolish. Now, guys, this was played just yesterday. I've got the replays off them. So 5 meter splash damage, of course, one of the recent changes. You will never be two-shotting balls. You'll never be killing 2 balls with 1 shot. And Apooche is going to take the Farseer. Steelsane, I feel like Farseer is just such a good, well-rounded unit in these early rounds. Gives you good momentum, but it's usually a sell later on. So if you think you could go for Marksman or Phoenix, start getting levels, use them as a unit that scales a bit better into the late game, there's an option. And of course, Phantom Rays are always nice as well. We'll see what he ends up picking as we take a look at the board. Now, this is going to be so fascinating because the Marksman comes out. It's obviously a much slower unit. And, you know, do you try to set up a sort of staggered defense in the middle here and try to lure these units over so that sniping that tower can go well? Like, what quadrant do you commit to? A lot of people have been saying the new way of thinking about it, especially from the Asian server, is thinking about which column, which little quadrant of the board you're setting up in. Which one do you choose to fight and which one you don't? Steelsane has taken the Phoenix and is going to get a very quick tower snipe with those, I would imagine. Extra Saber comes down and Farseer. So Apooche is setting up more of a slower, more defensive comp here. This comp's a bit more... It's going to be hard to like join up the speed of these units. That's always the problem I find playing the sort of setup Steelsane's in. Now, Steelsane does upgrade his tower once, whereas looks like Apooche is not bothering. But Apooche is setting up this sort of like staggered units here that'll kind of lure him in. And he can kind of potentially spread his board across and try to defend. But leveling up the tower, normally, the only reason you do it here is not for the hit points. It's for the paralysis buff. So basically, the paralyze effect is debilitating. Debilitates your entire army for such a long time. Oh, beautiful crawler flank in the top left. I'll talk about paralyze later, guys. Farseer getting distracted down there by those crawlers. This Saber's going to clear these guys up. Dude, Apooche playing a lovely round. He's absolutely pooping all over Steelsane. Oh. Sorry, guys, I'll stop. If those Phoenix get taken out by the Farseer, I think Apooche can win. But if he loses the Farseer... Oh, no, he's going to get both Phoenix straight away. Very nice. Oh, this is a really good round for Pooch, man. Do we call him Pooch, by the way? Is there a nickname? Because I feel like saying Apooche. Apooche? I think I'm just going to call him Pooch. Hopefully he's okay with that. Shout out to Apooche. Lovely streamer, content creator, one of the top players in the world as well. You guys can catch him on twitch.tv/just Apooche, I'm pretty sure is the link. I don't know if Steelsane streams at all. You guys let me know if he does. We can kind of link up their channels so you can check out their own content and learn from the best. But for now, we are just reveling in the glory of watching these players play. Additional deployment is such an easy pick. It's such good value over the course of a game. We're only in, I think, was it round 3? So it's always a pretty easy pick. But heavy armor! Wow, we're going to go heavy armor to get 80% more hit points on this level 2 Saber. Turn that into a tanky master of destruction. Good for tanking everything that is not the steel balls, right? But the steel balls are struggling to ever get on top. So interesting choice there for Apooche. And it's going to be interesting to see which way he goes. Samtastic, thanks for the Prime Gaming sub, by the way. And I hope you guys are enjoying this stuff. So check it out. So he had to put an arc light down. The only problem with this arc light is if those guys mobile beacon in the L shape, it won't reach them until it has range. And even then, I think some of them might be able to like delay quite a bit. But using a mobile beacon in Steelsane to make sure these units don't get distracted and still dive this tower, as is so important. This crawler down here also forced another defensive arc light, this time from Apooche. So both sides trying to force each other's units around, trying to kind of go in that direction and seeing exactly which way it goes. So let's quick deploy here just for this round. Actually, once I turn that on, I feel like I can't turn it off. Is the problem because the overlay sometimes breaks for me a little bit. I have a bunch of interface issues. You see that? See how it's all flickering? I don't think that happens to anyone else I've ever seen stream or play this game. For some reason it happens to me. I don't know if it's like a weird GPU issue or just my computer's playing crazy bananas. I don't know. Anyway, steel balls there. And actually, they're going to get the Saber because of the tower debuff. They should be able to tank one more shot. And they get rid of the Saber and the arc light. This is a much better turn. That mobile beacon countering the distraction crawlers is a game changer. Now, this is a level 2 tower up there. So 2-second reduction of the paralysis, which is so important because the paralysis is everything. But getting the tower snipe there as well. So both sides paralyzed at the same time. It kind of cancels each other out. And here we go. Saber's there. The fast is exposed. Fast is exposed. That fast is going to go down real quick. If it doesn't... Yeah, the crawlers are in front. Steel ball. That steel ball is a hero. Look at how much damage he's going to do. He's going to take out the arc light. Might get a Saber as well. Marksman on the left side not really helping. He needs this arc light to clear the Fangs, but the Fangs doing an excellent job of tanking. This Phoenix, though, is shooting that super tanky Saber. Tip points did allow it to tank a fair bit longer. Fangs will take out the Phoenix in the bottom, as well as the Phoenix in the top. Saber should be able to finish the arc light. And a narrow round win here for Steelsane. Pretty damn intense game. Very close. And I'm always at a juncture here where I don't know what to do next as either player. I always wonder, like, do you go into, like, Mustangs to support the balls and stay with a fast-moving army? Because you've got ball crawler very fast as Steelsane, but otherwise you're on arc lights. You're going to see here... Mobile beacon forward again. Got the nano repair, by the way, for that level 2 ball, which is nice. Nano repair for the level 2 saber tooth there, also nice. Another crawler flank, which is just going to slow these guys down a little bit, right? You can see from the arrow, all these guys over here are going to get distracted by these crawlers. It's going to disjoint the army a bit. This guy will still go forward towards the tower, but look, this arc light's distracted here, which means there's no arc light heading forward. What's interesting about this is that Apooche's army is not going to get that right side tower very quickly because his arc lights aren't going to it for a while. There we go, though. Farseer arc light in the back, set up behind the tower. I think these Fangs should distract a little bit. Oh, will they, though? They're not quite in the middle of the beacon, and the level 2 ball is going to get the tower debuff. Oh, Apooche can't be happy about that. Steelsane looking really good. And you can see the rest of his army's kind of coalescing down here. Then again, Sabers are still one-shotting those balls, even though they have nano repair. Squad of units, it's all about that Farseer. Oh, is the Farseer pushing the tank? Guys, do Farseers actually push big units like Sabertooths? Because I always see like Mustangs and stuff get pushed to the front. If you have a really fast unit like the Farseer in the back, does it actually do that? By the way, he paid for speed this turn. So did both players pay for speed? Let me check. No, just so Apooche is paying for speed to try and keep up with Steelsane's incredibly fast army and allow him to clean up the corners and then still get to the front in a quick time. Secondary Arms, says Activillain. Secondary Arms is a troll strat. I loved using it in the first week of this patch coming out, but I don't think there's any valid reason to be going Secondary Arms here right now. Apooche has a speed addiction. I mean, he's both speed spec and he's paying for speed off the tower, which costs him 50 supplies that he doesn't get refunded, but he's got Steelsane's life getting low. Now, Steelsane, you can see, is going range on the arc lights there. And we're going to see a defensive oil scorpion. Wow. Whereas it's a rhino. Oh, corner rhinos. Corner level 2 rhinos off the card for Steelsane. So Steelsane's going to try and distract with these rhinos in the corner. Level 2 rhino is going to be really hard for a Farseer to deal with. This Scorpion will help on that side, but on this backside, it's going to be interesting without any chaff back there to see if Pooch can hold on. Oil will slow down this whole army as well, though. He's got arc lights on the corners, or at least that corner. You can see down here, though, the rhinos on their first turn. Going to take a while to come in. One Scorpion going to that bottom left. This Scorpion takes out 3 of the balls in one shot. Scorpion, hard countering. Sabretooth helping out as well. Beautiful defense for Pooch. I think Pooch might just be out of control. He might even probably not win this round, but basically it looks like he might crush this round. Then again, the Phoenix. The level 2 Phoenix are clearing up stuff on that left side, guys. They're looking really, really good. Over on the right side, those units closing on the tower. Phoenix over here, going to come forward with the mobile beacon. Finally going to get the tower snipe, maybe? No. Oh, they're not mobile beaconed. It's only the crawlers, maybe, that are mobile beacons. So the tower snipe actually comes down at a really good time for Pooch. Pooch has got, what, 400, 700, 800, 900, almost 1,000 supply worth of units there. Remember, 1,000 supply equals 1,000 damage. So this is actually something where it does seem interesting. Now, they actually were mobile beaconed, but they stopped to shoot those guys that I didn't think were anywhere near the mobile beacon. Maybe there was something else on the mobile beacon that I didn't see, and that's why the Phoenix got distracted. Must have been some sort of interaction I didn't keep up to. Phoenix going to get gunned down, only getting a few fangs. That's going to be almost 1,000 damage. Going to be left on, what, 800 life, maybe 900? Oh, that is a lot of damage. Apooche hasn't lost a single round, has had momentum from the start. Speed spec, paying for speed every round, and just doing really well. We're going to see a Rhino drop in the back for both sides. We'll see if that can get some tower snipes. You don't really want to deploy something to deal with that. Hacker! Oh, guys, we got hackers coming out. Steelsane's going hackers. Steelsane says, look, I need a turnaround in this game. I need it now. We have a level 3 Sabretooth there. We've got the regen one. These hackers are going to try to run forward, steal some units, and turn this game in his favor. 2 hackers on the right side, 1 on the left. Wow. He's actually going to try and hack these units. That's wild. I mean, he doesn't have a huge amount of support, but we could see missiles going down on both sides, guys. So this corner should be interesting. The Scorpion should help deal with that. Top left side, that's going to be like that. Dude, we got to watch these missiles. The missiles all land. The missiles all land. The fangs are all cleared. The missiles all land. That Rhino coming in. Steelsane looking for the sick comeback right now. He's got this Rhino. It's diving the tower. It's diving the tower. The other Rhinos are going down to the Scorpions, but he gets the debuff. At the same time, the hackers, we've got to keep an eye on those hackers. Can they take the high-level sabers? Yes, because of the debuff, they can. That one gets stolen. 2 sabers swap sides, and the hackers have already got the value they were looking for. Stealing those sabers, getting high-level ones, some good experience, a second tower snipe. Steelsane with an amazing hacker turnaround in the round where he needed to make it happen. If Steelsane didn't make this round happen, Steelsane was dead. But he makes it happen, and that is a fantastic change up in the pace of this game from 4,600 life straight down to 3,000, 1,600 in a turn. That is a really, really big flip. Wow. Underground threat, both players taking that, going to be using it offensively, I would imagine. Yes, they are. That's going to distract those crawlers a bit. The arc light turning back and forth is going to struggle. So I do wonder what goes down. Looks like we're getting some crawlers of our own. Impact drill for Steelsane as well. Going to allow his crawlers to do pretty well. But replicate coming in for Apooche and impact drill. The doubling down. Oh my god, they both thought about the same thing. By the way, he's got 1/1 upgrades, only +1 armor for Apooche, or hit points, I should say, the defense enhancement. So he's going to wrap up these signs, I would imagine, a fair bit. Range Mustangs coming in to try and, I guess, help deal with everything is fascinating, and especially to deal with, of course, these little guys that are coming out. We might want to go for an enhanced zoom, guys, with these boards where there's so much happening. The rhinos in the corner are getting taken out, but up on the other side, the hackers. Can those hackers steal it? Dude, the crawlers won! Pooch, he forgot about dealing with the crawlers. He did not put enough units there, and that tower debuff is brutal. Oh, that is a mistake he cannot afford right now. His army is getting split. Dude, Steelsane has done a perfect job of splitting this entire army up. Look at this turnaround. His Mustangs are also, with range, getting nice experience so they can level up this turn. Wow. What a turnaround, man. I'm not used to a board being so spread on both sides. This is crazy. All right, guys, we've increased the zoom because this game is absolutely wild. I'll try to leave that on in future. So if we need to zoom this far out, we can. Laser sights coming in for Steelsane. Apooche, we'll see what he goes for in a little bit. Obviously, I'm not going to zoom in that far out usually, but I do think it's kind of nice to be able to see just a little bit more. I do like the perspective, being off on an angle a little though. So we've got, guys, regen level 2 Rhino there, another level 2 Rhino there. You've got these arc lights around going on. I mean, there's so much happening. Barrier for the hackers. One of them gets a range item. And how do you deal with these hackers as Apooche, man? Because Apooche took so much damage in that last round. This is going to be really interesting. I think the auto camera is a bit too shaky. It's really bad for people's, you know, nausea and stuff and all that sort of thing. I don't mind it, but I've definitely heard a bunch of complaints whenever I put it on. So we could try another one and just see. Maybe the majority of people do prefer auto camera, but I also think it's hard to zoom in on what I want to when I want to. So many arc lights on the edges on both sides, guys. Even a flanking saber over there. This is actually just a fascinating game. I really worry, though, that for Apooche, I just don't know how you deal with these hackers. I feel like these units are getting so separated from the rest of your army. And because you've got a game that's broken into a battle here, a battle here, a battle here, and a battle here, you're basically allowing the hackers to fight a section of your army at a time. And that just feels like a big issue. Yeah, we definitely want 0.5 speed for these later rounds so we can see everything that's happening, guys. All right, here we go. Round 8. It's probably over based on who wins this round. You can see right now, oil goes down. That's going to slow down these guys. The barrier, though, will protect from the hackers. Remember, hackers only do, I think, 33% damage to shields, or like 40% or something like that. Down in the bottom right, that Rhino with regen is tanking so much damage. That is absolutely insane. Sabertooth's getting stolen by hackers up here. The barrier goes down. Those hackers are about to unleash their payload on these guys. The Arclight's trying to clear the Mustangs, but the Sabers, their shots kind of going to waste on these basic units. The rest of the army starting to coalesce. Apooche starting to come back towards the front line. But if these hackers can get the steals off, if they can get the mind controls off in time on these Sabers, then that's going to be potentially game-winning. Sabers starting to break these barriers, or Scorpions are from the left side. On the right side, we've got double hacks going down on a big Saber. This Saber gets stolen. It turns on its friendly Saber. That's a big problem. The Sabers are all getting turned. The hacker on the left side is only stealing chaff so far. Once the Arclight clears through, it'll do it. On the right side, we've got those units. And one of them, yeah, big level 3 with regen gets stolen. That one gets stolen. Now you've got 3 Sabertooths that just swap sides. These hackers were a genius play, and they are perfect. The Farseer changes sides now. Yes, a hacker goes down on the left, but it doesn't matter because you've stolen your opponent's units. One of them kills a bloody tower. Oh, my lord. What a deadly finish this was in the final round. And what a great turnaround from Steelsane. Getting hammered for 5 rounds, and then says round 6, 7, 8, bam, 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 crushes through with the swap. I mean, what even caused that, guys? I'm trying to remember, because it felt like everything was going to hell in a handbasket, and it was the hackers, right? It was the first round with the hackers just changed everything, and it was the rhinos in the corners to distract actually was so big. Yeah, the 2 level 2 rhinos in the corner. Something I've really used to kind of go, hey, a Rhino is really that good. And what's good about Rhino cooldowns is you get so many deployments, which is something when you struggle to get enough deployments, especially when your board gets spread out like this. And the real value is not, is the Rhino going to kill stuff? It's, can I put a problem there that isn't going to be dealt with simply? You can't just deal with a Rhino with a few crawlers, a bit of chaff, right? So you have to put more units in your corners, and it didn't cost me any deployments. So you're having to waste deployments on the back line, and then I can invest all my deployments in this one area here, and say, look at this, I've got Mustangs to clear the chaff, to clear anything else, and to support these hackers that are just spamming down controls, and we get to segment your army up and split it up, divide and conquer. I know that's not the original meaning of that saying, by the way, but guy in the comments who's going to say it, but that's an awesome game one. Apooche goes up, goes down. Steelsane goes up 1 game. All right, guys, going into game 2. Steelsane leads 1-0 as we have our lovely, fantastic load screen there. And it's going to be a choice of missile spec, amp, giant, aerial. For Apooche, I would go giant or aerial. He's going to go amplify. Very cool. I like that Apooche picks things that are very different to what I would. Supply spec, Saber Crawler Star is decent. Sorry, guys, I don't know why my chat's hiding it. And it's going to be, is that what he went for? Supply spec, Crawler Saber Start for Steelsane, yeah. So Steelsane's going to go for these. For those who don't know, by the way, we had a bit of feedback in between the games. So number 1, I'm going to try and keep the cards up a bit longer in this game. Number 2, we're going to try and show you guys the loadouts that they have on the upgrades during the early game while I'm talking about things. But in general, this is interesting because amp cores, I think small amp cores, you know, not bad. They give you 20% hit points and attack. I would say, in my experience, unless I've got tarantulas to put on them, I don't really rate the amp core amplify specialist. I feel like it's, you know, like it's one of those things, the small amp cores, I'm like, they're not bad at 20% hit point, 20% attack. It's just, it feels like I would want to put them on Mustangs and I'd never want to start a game with Mustangs. So I'm like, I don't know, like I want to put them on something that really scales nicely, but we'll see how we go. I wonder if Pooch just chucks them on the sledgehammers. I would just chuck them on the sledges, chuck one on an Arclight, or maybe save one of them for in case there's a round 2 unit drop. Probably want to save one, I think, was probably the way you want to do this. Alright guys, so check it out. Sledges in the middle, very kind of standard setup here for Pooch. Meanwhile, Steelsane is a bit more forward on the line, very standard, or very typical, I should say, for Arclight Saber to do that. And you can see this Arclight's going to go down, which means we've got a lot of chaff clear here, right? Sledgehammers and Arclights, but we're lacking for Pooch's DPS. Just raw single target damage, giant killers, that's what a lot of people call it in Mechabellum. But in general, you know, raw damage output, single target damage especially. You can see these sabers are just impossible to kill for just a series of sledges and Arclights. But the sledge Arclight start is powerful, right? It's good because the enemy chaff just disappears. And you can always in round 2 focus on that. So you're kind of willing to take this 500-600 damage to the face and go, okay, let's see what happens next. All right, guys, check it out. Wasps, Rhino, Marksman, and Farseer are the choices. Obviously, Farseer count as Wasp, Wasps count as Marksman, and Rhino is just a Rhino. It's kind of decent. I feel like you might want to go... I mean, what would you go? I'd have to look at the board. So it is going to be Wasps for the more aggressive player, Steelsane, but... yeah, I mean, Farseer is such a good defensive unit. Hot tip if you're newer to Mechabellum and you're struggling to decide, if they offer you a Farseer, just always take the Farseer. That's what I've told my wife. And she's like, what do I pick? I'm just... When in doubt, take the Farseer. It does everything. It's really good in the early and middle rounds. It covers everything. It does everything. It just falls off in the late game, you know? It's not going to be as useful as some other units later on, but that's totally fine. Now, you can see the way the Fangs are really nicely layered, guys. 5 Fang squads. There's still no real DPS. The Farseer adds a good amount of damage, but only, you know, only so much. And we're going to get a tower upgrade as well as Pooch. Now, Steelsane just says, bring the Wasps in from behind a little bit. Let my Arclight clear some of these Fangs. And then let these Fangs get distracted by the Crawler. Oh, very nice placement by Steelsane, guys. So Steelsane is going to try and clear out the anti-air on this side with the Crawlers. And then these Wasps are either going to... I mean, they're not mobile beacon, but they are going to do some decent damage. More Fangs are coming in from behind, though, that will help out. The Farseer made quick work of one Saber, but the other Saber is being covered by the chaff right now. Fangs, Sledgehammers, starting to get cleared out. The Farseer is going to get taken down in 2 shots from the Saber. And, oh, with the paralysis from the tower debuff. That's going to be another brutal round, dude. Steelsane trying to speedrun Pooch. Yeah, really good start for Steelsane. But remember, Sabers fall off, especially if you keep committing to Saber Arclight. It does fall off. And that's why I do like the opening, but I'm always confused about where to go next. Now, guys, you've got a lot of options here. Wasp Swarm, Elite Mustang is amazing for getting level 3 Mustang straight away. Wasp Swarm, of course, is a nice cooldown, 3-round cooldown. Drop those Wasps in the back, potentially snipe a tower. Advanced Shield, not really great at this point. Redeployment is really good if you need to redeploy, but I don't think either player needs to redeploy. Well, actually, Steelsane has Wasps. Never mind. Steelsane takes redeployment because the Wasps then can move around, which is going to be awesome. And that's going to make a lot of sense. Yeah. Thing is, like, I was thinking about a Apooche setup. There's no reason for Apooche to move anything because he's just doing a standard brick of defense, right? It's just a big standard setup in the middle. Like, what are you going to do? Shuffle the Farseer slightly? Doesn't make sense. Whereas the redeployment, you can grab these Wasps, dive the left, dive the right, whatever. You can move all around. And you can even shuffle your whole line a little bit as well. Look, he's moving an Arclight. Where are we moving that? Corner? Corner Arclight. So we're taking an Arclight off the front, moving it into the corner. Very cool move. And we're getting range straight away. So the range on the Arclights is going to help these Sabers pump through. One of them is now level 2 as well. Okie doke. This is fascinating. By the way, the Wasps do have shields, ground spec, aerial spec, and range available. Seeing that corner, that Arclight coming in. Saber's going to be really good once they start landing hits on these bigger units. But I like the way the Fangs are kind of filtering through. A little bit of delayed chaff there. Very nice. And those crawlers on the left side getting cleared up. The Wasp Swarm unanswered, man. No answer to the Wasp Swarm there. The Wasps... Actually, it looks like they did kill something. There's some stuff up there. I'm not sure, was it a few Fangs that went back to try to deal with it? But either way, Apooche going for the Wasp Swarm gives him a massive double tower debuff and allows him to crush this round. Only cost him 100 supplies. Remember, Steelsane is spec, supply spec, by the way. Was it a missile on the back? I'm not sure what it was. Both players skipped there, guys. Didn't really get a good look at what those choices were, but they've both decided to skip, not taking any of those cards. So, check it out. Level 2 Sledgehammer. Arclight's going to be level 2 as well. Wasps have not leveled yet. This Arclight has leveled up. Range on the Sabers. Okay, so we're committing to range Arclight, range Saber. So, incredibly committed to this. And I always feel like when I'm playing in Steelsane's shoes at this point, guys, that I'm like, you know, my opponent's going to start to build better units, and I feel like I'm going to fall off a cliff at some point. This is just me being a noob, so I'm so curious what he's going to do. Oh, redeploy Wasps, where to? He's already put a Saber on the flank as well, trying to get rid of that Arclight as quickly as possible. So it's a bit of a Saber Arclight cage, essentially, right? This giant Saber Arclight cage. Where did the Wasps go? Oh, just over there. Okay. I guess makes sense. I mean, the Wasps haven't really been very effective this game, have they? They're just kind of chilling. Farseer also has a mediocre missile interceptor. At least it keeps moving and shooting one, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad, you know. It's all right. I used to love it when I was leveling up, but definitely I've started to realize that since it's a 300 supply unit, that doesn't scale well into the late game. If you end up with like 3 or 4 Farseers with missile interceptor, kind of a problem if you don't win the game soon. All right, you can see the chaff war at the front going down. Farseer in the back corner is really going to help clear up this Arclight and Saber. That was a great choice. Pooch going for that backdoor Farseer is actually a game changer. And this Farseer on the front should be able to clear the Wasp once it shoots them, but there's such a spread of chaff. It's kind of hard for this Farseer to track onto the correct units. That level 2 tower, though, is going to help tank for it a little bit. The last few units in the middle filtering through. These guys coming in from the right side. Oh, Farseer is getting hammered by these ranged Sabers, man. Farseer's base range is 125, but a Saber with range is 135. Part of me wonders if it's worth paying for range sometime soon as Pooch. Or what do you kind of go for next to counteract the Saber Arclight play? Do you go Shield Fangs? I'd be tempted to go Shield Fangs as Pooch. Problem is at that point, I mean, how many Fang squads does he even have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he has 6 squads. Might be worth going Shield Fangs in this game. Now, as you can see, guys, Rhinos ×3, Steel Balls ×3, Phoenix, a level 4 Phoenix squad or a level 3 Scorpion. Now, I do think probably for Steelsane, he's going to take either the Rhinos or the Phoenix. I think there's not great targets for the Phoenix. I mean, oh, he's going to go Balls as well. Okay, cool. Both sides go Balls. I think it's just, this is kind of raw deployments and the fact that you don't have anything that just annihilates them. So both sides have said, let's just get Balls. They're kind of going to work as semi-chaff. They could be big damage dealers. They're just like, hey, here's some meat. Also, I think, did one of them get sold? No, backdoor. Backdoor Balls, guys. Now, for those who don't know, I'm not a big connoisseur of adult content, but I did recently discover that backdoor Balls is actually a possibility. Didn't even know that was a thing. The dark corners of the internet await you. Don't say things are impossible. Let your dreams be dreams. And I mean, I'll stop. Anyways, hackers. What the hell? Guys, Pooch is going hackers. And that's going to be really good against the Balls, potentially. It could also be quite good against the Sabers, as we saw in the last game. But there's such a big spread of Saber Arclight, and there's nothing to really separate the board of Steelsane, which is what I'm worried about for Pooch. Let's see how these hackers do, guys. He's going to start stealing Balls on that right side. You can see already those Balls doing really well to kill the flanking Saber. He's going to need to put chaff down in front of that on the next turn. The Balls getting stolen, distracting this whole army, man. Dude, these hackers are doing so well. And look at that. It tracks onto the hacker, but then the hacker mind controls some stuff. Dude, the Wasps aren't killing the hacker. They get taken down by the Farseer. This is brutal. Oh, hackers are just OP, man. A hacker's the most overpowered unit in the game. Come on, it'll take like 1 shot to kill these hackers. Just 1 shot. You just need the Sabers to track onto it for 1 second. But that hacker on the right side's still going. The one on the left did already go down. The one on the right, can it get it? Can it steal the Saber? Because if it steals the Saber, you might be able to turn this. But the Arclight actually takes it down. And you know what? Maybe hackers aren't all that. Steelsane still doing well with the Saber Arclight here. Looking very fantastic. What do you go? Do you sell your balls now? Smoke bomb is obviously huge. I don't think you go for anything other than smoke. Now, smoke is better on defense than offense. Why? Because you throw a smoke across here. Obviously, Apooche is going to barrier here and probably in the middle as well. I would do 2 shields, one there, one there. Whereas you can throw your smoke here. Even if Steelsane barriers, he can't barrier in front of the line. So as the units move forward, they will get smoked. So this could be a super deadly smoke. And it could be a game changer. As long as Pooch doesn't forget to barrier. Pooch, don't forget to barrier, my friend. Don't forget to barrier. He's starting to sell out of his balls, by the way. Did he sell his corner balls? Yeah, he sold his corner balls. And actually, these balls have been given the chaff upgrade, guys. So the balls, I've got mechanical division. So Pooch is gonna have to be facing a massive amount of just bloody crawlers spawning out of balls, wasps as well. So Steelsane is basically saying, I'm gonna overwhelm you with wasps and balls and crawlers, all this like fast stuff that's gonna jump on top of you in front of my Saber Arclight. My Saber Arclight's just going to continue to do what it does, dish out the hurt from my... That barrier's quite far back, which is interesting. Might be looking to keep that alive a bit longer. Obviously, barrier is good versus the hackers. One has to remember, where is the damage output of Pooch's army, guys? He's got a Farseer, he's got a ball squad there and there. It's just Arclights and Fangs for the most part. And he has, I would argue, the better chaff. And the Arclight's doing a great job versus the enemy chaff. Let's see how this goes, guys. That flank gets dominated so quickly, but the smoke comes down. Pooch, I think this smoke, defensive smoke, is really good. Can the Farseer clear the wasps, though? He's got to get rid of those wasps. As it starts landing shots here, it'll be good, but the crawlers and the balls up front are distracting. The mechanical division doing really well. These hackers on the left are stuck on the barrier for so long, but the Fangs are just doing it, man. These hackers starting to mind control units, turning them. And that smoke was absolutely devastating. Even though a little bit of smoke did get down on Pooch's side, none of his hackers were affected by it. Steals everything and does huge amounts of... No way! Gets the kill by 2 hit points. I didn't even think we were in lethal territory. What? I thought Pooch could die if he lost the round, but that was a massive swing. And it's off the back of hackers once again. Wow, the hackers swing... If he didn't pick balls, guys, if Steelsane didn't pick balls, and say he went for the Phoenix or something like that, and sold it and just like doubled down, do you think if it wasn't for the balls, the hackers wouldn't have paid off that much? I'm really curious. You guys let me know in the comments what you think, because I have to think about this round and go, you know, yeah, if you don't go for the balls, the hackers are nowhere near as valuable, right? Against the balls, they're just god tier. Still be good against the other units, but against the balls, they were just game changers, and stealing the units on the flank as well was really effective. GG, well played, guys. We're tied up 1-1. All right, we're tied up 1-1. Let's go to game 3, guys. Pooch has a Typhoon Spec, Fortified Saber, and Giant available. I feel like Saber is kind of tempting. Yeah, I don't know. He's going to go Typhoon Spec. Okay, cool. So, guys, Pooch is going to be in the blue again, playing Typhoon Spec, Sledge, Arclight start. Really good. Anti-chaff. You've got anti-chaff ×2 at the start, and then you got another anti-chaff unit on round 4 that also shoots up. Steelsane did go for the Farseer spec ball crawler. It's a lovely aggressive start potential for Steelsane. Now, let's take a look at the upgrades, guys. The crawlers are loose formation, impact drill, replicate, subterranean blitz. Yeah, that's the standard lineup. Balls, he does have fortified target lock on, does Steelsane, which is actually really cool, guys. I've never used it, but I've been thinking of adding this to my ball loadout. Also has range, energy absorption, and mechanical division. Arclights are charge shot, elite mark, EMP, and range. Guys, he runs charge shot. Now, to be fair, I've heard, because I've been wanting to make this work, and everyone's told me, nah, it never works. It's never the right choice. It's really bad. It's a waste of money. I love charge shot. I think it's cool. It's very cheap as well. But I guess you just kind of have abilities that you almost never use, right? EMP and charge shot, whereas elite marksman and range are kind of the main abilities. EMP is the optional bonus ability in specific scenarios. But now, guys, we're going to get into it and see what goes on. Crawlers in the middle, sledgehammers. Going to clear those reasonably quickly, but a nice split on them to buy a few more shots. And once again, there is a bit of a DPS problem when it comes to killing the balls. But look at how quickly the crawlers disappear. So it's a double-edged sword, right? I don't have much single target damage, so these balls are quite hard to kill. On the other hand, I obliterated your chaff so incredibly fast with Sledge Arclight that I'm able to instantly target the balls, and it still works out to be a very close range that goes round that goes in my favor. So it's actually pretty damn nice, man. And I do think the fast is better for Steelsane on round 4. Like, if I looked at the setup, even though Apooche is winning the first round, I actually think Steelsane might have the better long-term setup, just because Typhoon's better in a very aggressive game and short-range game specifically. Ooh, redeployment, subsidized Mustang, and Wasp Swarm, mass-produced Melting Point. Not really a card that's it's very rare that gets taken. Pooch takes Wasp Swarm. I do wonder, is it tempting? Guys, for me, I do like going round 2 Mustangs if there's a Wasp Swarm card, especially with a ball start. I don't know if a high-level player would ever do this. For me, I would be like, subsidized Mustangs? I'd think about it. I would definitely take that and go for 2 Mustang squads and just chuck them a bit further back. Then again, he's so far forward. If he puts Mustangs in the back, they're not going to be in tune with the balls, which means, I mean, either way, I think Steelsane just sacrifices this round, lets the Wasp Swarm kill him, because your Wasp Swarm won't work. So I think you just give up this round, unless you go defensive Wasp Swarm. Oh, he's going to go offensive. I mean, they can solo 1 squad of Fangs, as long as they don't waste too much time attacking the Arclight. And he's going to get his own defensive Fangs. Okay. Oh, he's actually going to try and respect the Wasp Swarm. Okay, very cool. Let's see how this goes, guys. Wasp Swarm's going to come in from both sides. He's got crawlers to support his one. But I think that Arclight's going to tank a bit of damage. Might actually allow these Fangs to win this trade. Yeah, this Wasp Swarm was not great. This Wasp Swarm did not work out, unfortunately. This Wasp Swarm on the other side also did not work out. They're both getting cleared, if not completely, mostly by the Fangs. And Sledgehammer Arclight core in the middle, starting to clear out these balls. This looks like a really good couple of rounds for Pooch. Mustangs would be good versus Fangs as well. So that's the other advantage of going Stangs here. With a Stang, yeah, a ball, and you can always, I don't know, for me, I know it's a bit of a noob thing to be so focused on it, but for me, I mean, saying noob, maybe not noob, but you know, high-level player who's, what am I the equivalent of? I'm like rank 700 or something right now with my current MMR. I've peaked at rank 300. I'm like a Masters player in this game. I'd say I'm like a Masters 2 if I had to put it in StarCraft terms. So I'm obsessed with going Mustang Fortress from this start, but these guys much smarter than me. Not going to go for the crazy cards there, guys. They both just go for the laser sight. It's kind of just such a good item. Plus 20 range on a unit that's doing really well. And it looks like we're going to go into Phoenix. 2 squads of Phoenix, or no, just 1. I think we put the laser sight on the Phoenix. And the Mustangs do now come in for Steelsane, but they are non-subsidized Mustangs, and they are frontline Mustangs. One of them gets the rangefinder, the laser sight as it's called, the other one doesn't. You can see here the crawlers are still on the flank, but that Arclight will make quick work of it. So I definitely think I prefer how these rounds have gone for Apooche, and I'm very curious to see kind of what happens next. By the way, guys, I've noticed a lot of pros do crawlers behind balls. Is this good? I feel like sometimes the Arclight is shooting the balls. Say it tracks onto this ball here, second from the right. The crawlers all clump around it and die as they run through the balls. Not always, but I feel like it happens a lot of the time. And part of me wonders if this formation is actually not as reliable and shouldn't be used as much. Let's watch what happens to these Arclights, guys. Are they going to get that splash damage I talked about? The one on the left, yes. The one on the right, no. The crawlers kind of came through, but even then, not that much. Yeah, I feel like it's a bit overrated. I wonder if there's like a better reason for it that I'm not cluing into. And it does, you know, feel like it's maybe, I don't know, it feels like it's just not the best chaff positioning for later on as well. Chat says it's good the first round before you have enough DPS to actually kill them. Yeah, I do. I think it might be overrated though. Steelsane's going to lose that round as well. Struggling to crack this defensive nut of Apooche. Now, defensive positions like this can really sometimes struggle if there's like spells that come down. But you'll notice there's a good spread. And we've got our second unit drop, guys. Melting Point, Tarantula, Phantom Rays, or Scorpions. You can get 3 Tarantulas or 3 Phantom Rays. Lots of unit drops, lots of deployments. Melting Point is an amazing single target unit. Phantom Rays are sledges of the sky. Steelsane had said, I want some flying sledges, bro. And you know what shoots up? Other than the Phoenix, it's Fangs and Typhoons, units with very low damage. If you want to, you could click armor on those Phantom Rays. It's not a cheap upgrade, 300, but they will tank for days against the Fangs and the Typhoons. And that can be really nice, but it's a big commitment. As your opponent adds a few more Phoenix, they'll be countered. Now, the Scorpion being taken by Apooche is obviously a master of clearing balls. That's its entire job. Blast the balls, one-shot them. It's also quite tanky at level 3, 55,000 or 56,000 almost life. Typhoon, I wonder where the Typhoon goes. I don't think you want to leave that in the middle, do you? I think we might have forgotten to move the Typhoon, Pooch. That would... Okay, there we go. There we go. It's moved out. Scorpion on the right, Typhoon on the right, but then changes his mind, goes to the left, and he's going to be happy about that. There are cloaked Phantom Rays coming in. Ooh, those are going to try and dive towards the tower with Mobile Beacon. Phantom Rays with Cloak on both sides. Now, the Cloak is kind of awesome. It actually increases their attack by 40% as well. That's something I always forget about. Cloaked by default can't be targeted until they come out of Cloak to attack units, so you need Chaff in front. You can see that first volley doing lots of damage to the Typhoons on the left. The Sledgehammer's doing okay. These Crawlers in the corner are distracting a little bit. Typhoons trying to fight. The Scorpions doing so good at clearing the middle ground front line. Question is, can there be enough anti-air left at the end of all this? Scorpion takes out the Faster on the right side. Level 3 Scorpion tanking very well on the left. Ground battle goes massively in Pooch's favor. But for the air battle, it's the Phoenix should clean things up towards the end as well, I think. Especially with all these Fangs coming in from behind. Very hard to take care of your opponent's Chaff with Phantom Rays. Phantom Rays only have 3 meter splash range, which is, as you can see, guys, not very effective. They'll kill like maybe 2 Fangs per shot, which is just not good at all. All right, they do actually cloak, which means the Phoenix might fly to get themselves killed. No, Phoenix, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, no. And then they don't quite have the power to one-shot. Oh. Okay, I mean, you're still going to win with the Fangs eventually, I think, but kind of fascinating to see the Cloak coming in and showing its optimal use case there. Fangs starting to take him out, though. These are just unleveled non-armor Phantom Rays, and so they are going to go down. So for those who don't know about the armor comment, armor basically, depending on the level of the unit, they block 60 damage per level, and of course, Fangs only do 61 damage a shot, which is why armor would be so effective there, but it's a bit of a one-dimensional tech. Another subsidized Mustang card comes out. Pooch takes it. They both take it this time. They're like, look, it was too early before, but now it's Mustang time, baby. Now, interestingly, going Mustangs here for Pooch kind of surprises me, guys. What are they there to cover? I mean, they're not a bad general missile interception. Specifically to intercept the Phantom Rays attacks with their missile interception. Oh, damn. High-level players are so good at this game. That's so fascinating. So the way it works is because Phantom Rays attack very slow, only once every 3 seconds, they only shoot 2 missiles when they shoot. Mustangs can just use their regular attack. They will prioritize shooting down the missiles from them. Can Farseer shots get intercepted, guys? You guys let me know if they can or not, but that's kind of cool. Using these 3 squads of cheap Mustangs with the missile interceptor to try and block the Phantom Rays from actually getting any attacks off. Apparently, Farseers can get intercepted, but it's hard because they travel so straight. Yeah. So it's funny because I guess if you have Farseers fighting each other and you click missile interceptor, I wonder if that's worth it if you have like a Farseer mirror. Not a situation you'd see too often, but we'll see how we go. Oh, whoops. You guys want automatic camera for this one? Let's go automatic camera for one round. You guys can give me your feedback in future casts. Do you want automatic camera or not? Mustangs, let's see how well they do when these Phantom Rays reveal themselves. Scorpions are still crushing the ground battle. Mustangs doing pretty good at intercepting their volleys, dude. Dude, the Phantom Rays not really getting any attacks off. And remember, Phantom Rays don't have a launcher overload ability. They don't have anything like that. So the interception kind of just destroys them. Dude. The Mustangs are completely cucking these Phantom Rays. They're doing nothing. Chat saying they don't like it. And I have heard a lot of people who say they don't like it in the past. So no worries, guys. We'll go back to the standard camera. Dude, Mustang Missile Intercept wrecks Phantom Rays. You know, I always thought you can't go Mustangs versus Phantom Rays because of armor. And this is just an interaction. I think I've heard of people doing this, but I hadn't actually seen it before. And in hindsight, I'm like, it seems so obvious. It seems so good. Apooche has not lost a single round. And now Steelsane is down to 270 life. Efficient Tech is probably the most common research, but I think it's too late to go for that. I think you either go Nano Repair, Orbital Javelin, or nothing. Nano Repair gives you a big buff unit, makes it heal itself. Steelsane takes Efficient Tech on round 6 when you're about to lose the... There's no way that's a good choice. That can't be optimal. I know Steelsane's 1,000 times the player I am, but you're 1 round from dying here. There's no way you're going to get the value out of saving 50 per upgrade because that costs you 100 plus the 50 you don't get from skipping. So you need to get 3 upgrades for that to break even. He gets one upgrade, which is armor for the Phantom Rays. Another upgrade is range for the arc lights. And he pays for range as well. So, I mean, he's still in the negative in supplies. I guess he's like, look, I need some long-term value. This isn't looking good. Maybe I can somehow win this round with armor on the Rays and see how we go. The Rays will do a lot of tanking. They're just not going to do a lot of killing. So the Raidens, oh, sorry, the Mustangs and the Rays are going to just stare at each other. Now, problem, this Wasp Swarm is going to kill that tower, isn't it? Actually, you know, you still got the Fangs there. I think the Fangs might be okay. And the Wasp's in the corner trying to make sure he covers in case the enemy Wasps went there as well. Yeah, Raidens are the hard counter to Phantoms in that they one-shot the whole squad. Unless, of course, the Rays have levels on them. We'll see what happens. There is a slider for the camera's shakiness, says Lexa. Wait, if I turn that slider off, are you guys saying even in automated camera, it'll change there? I thought that was just for when things blow up and stuff. I can try changing that and see if it changes the observing in the next one. Okay, here we go, guys. The flank's getting cleaned up. Mustangs are there. The Mustangs on the north adding a bit of damage, but they aren't leveled for the most part. Only one of them is leveled. Those Sledgehammers tanking really, really nicely. The Wasps in the middle not really achieving all that much for... actually, sorry. The Wasp one in the top left corner there for Pooch. Didn't find any damage. Phantom Rays are tanking like crazy. Dude, there's just nothing to kill the Phantom Rays. The Phantom Rays are doing no damage. Oh my, this is the standoff we're talking about. It's all about these Phoenix. They're the only thing that actually kills Phantom Rays, but the Phantom Rays can't get a single friggin' shot through. Look at this arc light. There's 6 Phantom Rays. They can't get a single rocket on this arc light. This is one of the sillier interactions in the game. You got level 2 armor. They're dropping the Mustang damage to 0 effectively, but they're also cucking the Phantom Rays. They finally got 1 rocket in there on the arc light, but that's it. The Phoenix is gonna come in, finish everything off little by little. And this is so cool. I don't need to kill the Phantom Rays quickly. I just need to stop them doing damage. And what a cute way of dealing this. Pooch comes back here. Remember that comeback before, you know, from Steelsane in game 1. But Pooch brings it back, wins game 2 and game 3, and gets the 2-1 victory. Damn, guys, that was awesome. That was super exciting. I'm going to keep trying to cast some of these series like this. If you enjoyed it and you're enjoying the high-level Mechabellum as I kind of explore, explain, but more importantly than ever, learn how the game actually works and figure it out as we go, as my camera is pointed in kind of the wrong direction. Let me know if you want to see more of this. I'm enjoying it, so I think I'm probably going to keep putting up a cast or 2 a week of these super high-level matches. Just while I'm enjoying the game and having fun with it, why not share that with you? Thanks for watching, and GG, big congrats, Pooch, for going through to play Sacco in the round of 8. Congrats, mate. GG, well played.